A fixed annuity is a guaranteed contract offered by insurance companies that say, for this period of time, this is my guaranteed rate of return. And each and every year, you know to the penny what your annual statement's going to say with compounding interest. Sometimes you will hear the terminology MIGA, which is a multi year guarantee annuity. It means the exact same thing as a fixed annuity. Retirees are very interested in that guaranteed interest rate. They want predictability. They're not trying to get rich anymore. They want a safe place to park money knowing they cannot lose a dime, they do not have any fees, and I can count on my return. I can build a retirement plan around knowing exactly what that's going to be. The concern, the fear of a market downturn or a significant event happening is concerning, especially to retirees. They say, "Hey, I've worked hard all my years to get this nest egg, and now I got to protect it. I've got to preserve it. And so, what are the best vehicles that I can consider?" And a fixed annuity ends up being a great solution many of the times. The comparison to the fixed annuities would be bank CDs or money in the market. And when we look at the pros and cons of those three options, it's going to come down to, with the CDs, we love the safety of the CDs offered by banks. We don't love the lower interest rates that they offer in comparison to the fixed annuities. In comparison to the stock market, you can do really well in the stock market. We could also lose half of our rear overnight, which makes those fixed annuities interest rates really appealing. Built into most all of the plans, there are penalty-free withdrawals that we always try to include. But before we even start to talk about a plan or a product, we're asking the question, when do you plan to use this money? And how much do you plan to use at that time? Making sure that the liquidity needs that you have, such as, I'm going to use this money to pay my property taxes. Next summer, we're taking the whole family on vacation, and I want to be able to pull money out of this. We calculate how much that would be and match a plan to that. There are some really random and rare scenarios where a person says, "Hey, I know that I was not planning to use this money for this period of time, but something has changed." They absolutely can get to their money. There are some penalties that we can run into, but we do everything that we can to make sure that we have some cash on hand, an emergency fund, a what if, and kind of some fun money. Meanwhile, this other chunk of change needs to be earning a really good interest rate in a very safe place. Built into every plan, I don't care if it's a CD at the bank or a fixed annuity with an insurance company, that financial institution is saying, "Hey, we want some sort of a guarantee that you're going to leave this money with us for a certain period of time. And so we're willing to give you this guaranteed rate as long as we know that we're going to be able to hang on to that money for this period of time." If we break contract and we're no longer able to leave our money in that plan. Again, I don't care if it's a bank or care if it's an insurance company. There are some surrender charges. There are some penalties that come into play. We do everything that we can to make sure that a person has cash on hand for the what ifs, for the emergencies, and for the fund money accounts. Everything else, let's put this in a safe place, earning as much interest as possible. When we take inventory to understand a client profile, when do we need this money? How much do we plan to use at that time? When we understand what the income and expenses look like, we can definitely find out if it's going to be something that fits that client profile. Hey, all of this money's planning to buy that new house when we get ready to move. Well, we're not putting it into one of those plans, but that's a pretty rare scenario that is the case. Many times we're dealing with pre-taxed money, IRAs, 401ks, and 403bs. Keep going. All of those just mean as simple as, I've not paid taxes on this money. And so many times, even if we have that dream house idea of going to Florida for the winter, We're not trying to pay taxes on all of that money in 1 year, and we're not trying to take out big chunks at any given time. This is something that we know we want to pay a small amount of tax over a long period of time. The best way to get your ducks in a row is to start to build a budget, start to take some inventory when you come to see us. And when you come to see us, we're going to help ask all the questions that maybe we've thought about and maybe we haven't thought about to make sure that we're turning over every stone and able to retire with confidence, knowing that we've been very thorough about getting our ducks in a row.